Thank you for joining us for a special KBRF Sports Video streaming presentation. Tonight's game is proudly brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, your Minnesota Motor Company halftime show. Lake Region Healthcare and your Lake Region Healthcare timeouts. Park Region and your Park Region scoreboard. Nelson Auto Center and your Nelson starting lineups. Quality Toyota and your Quality Toyota player of the game. Midwest Printing, Running Stitches Embroidery, Everett's Lumber Company, and by FM Bank. Now let's head out to the pregame.
Be with you on all those platforms here tonight. This should be a good match here in this Little League Conference volleyball matchup. Hillcrest off to a great start. The home team, the Comets, are 6-1 on the season. Battle Lake, they're 5-3 on the season. Both of them played in the Pelican Rapids Invitational. Got five matches in, 2 sets to win those matches in the Invitational, and both did well. They played each other. Hillcrest won narrowly, but 2 good teams, and should be a very good matchup here tonight. So we're going to review that when we come back, that matchup on the pregame show here in just a minute. You're listening and watching high school volleyball on Real Rock Z103, streaming live on the Fergus Now app and the KBRF YouTube station. Take a break and back with more on the pregame show in just a moment.
What's your number?
I drove 113 miles.
And I drove 124 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen, transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
And we're back here, the pregame show here at Hillcrest High School Volleyball tonight. 2 good teams going to be going at it here in this one. And both teams off to good starts, as we mentioned before. Hillcrest 6-1, Battle Lake 5-3. They both played in the Invitational Tournament. A bunch of teams gathered in Pelican Rapids on Saturday. And Hillcrest and Battle Lake played on Saturday. They played 2 sets. The Comets won both of them, but they were very good competitive sets. 25-20 was the score of the first one, and then it took a little longer in set 2, 26-24. Hillcrest won, so the Comets won at 2-0, but very competitive in their matches this past weekend. Let's take a look first at the visiting team tonight, Battle Lake. The Battlers, under head coach Jenny Roysum, 5-3 on the season, and they started the season on August 28th with a win at Bertha Hewitt, a 3-0 win. Then last Tuesday, won at Underwood in a Little Lake Conference matchup. 3-0 was the final there. Then Thursday, lost at Clinton Gracefield Beardsley. 3-1 was the final there. And then they went 3-2 in the Pelican Rapids Invite on Saturday. Their wins came against Rosse, Pelican Rapids, and Norman County East Hewlin Hitterdal. And their losses came to Hillcrest, as we mentioned before, and the close 2 sets that were very close and competitive, and then Breckenridge. Breckenridge was the eventual winner of that invitational on Saturday. So both teams have played good competition, got a great tune-up on Saturday in Pelican Rapids, and that's how Battle Lake season has gone so far. And talking with Hillcrest coach Debbie Foss, talking about going up against Battle Lake, she said that they have size and big, and they're going to have to cover and protect their hitters and really hit the ball well against some of that size. So Battle Lake 5-3 on the year. We'll take another break here on our pregame show. When we return, we'll talk a little bit about the Hillcrest Comets, the home team tonight. Hillcrest 6-1 on the year. We got to call their game last Thursday here at home against Underwood. What a great match that was. A dramatic match that Hillcrest eventually won. And we'll talk about some of that and how they've gotten to where they are in just a moment. It's a pregame show here at Hillcrest. Hillcrest hosting Battle Lake in volleyball. We'll take a break and back with more in the pregame show in just a moment.
What's your number?
I drove 113 miles.
And I drove 124 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen. Transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
And back here at Hillcrest, pregame show. Hillcrest at home against Battle Lake. Little Lake volleyball matchup. Before we talk about the Comets, I did have a few numbers on the Saturday invitational for the Battlers and some of their individual statistics. They had some very nice individual performances in their five matches that they had where they're shortened. You just needed to win 2 sets to win the match. But for the entire day, Kinley Borman, Kinley the junior middle hitter, she had 28 kills, 28 digs, 10 aces, and 7 blocks in that one. Kennedy Cameron, senior middle hitter, had 28 kills and 13 blocks. Belle Borman, junior outside hitter, had 25 kills. Kelsey Christensen, libero, had 42 digs. Setter Sophie Ackerman, senior, had 75 set assists and 49 digs throughout the day. And then Marley Blado added 8 kills, and Olivia Love had 10 digs. So some of the good performances there throughout the day on Saturday when Battle Lake was playing at that Pelican Rapids tournament. Now let's talk about the home team tonight. the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Comets. Debbie Foss, head coach, and the Comets off to a great start on the season. They are 6-1. So all those matches at the Pelican Rapids Invite, even though you only need 2 sets to win, they do count in the overall record. So Hillcrest 6-1 on the season. They started their season last Tuesday, a week ago from tonight, with a very nice home win over Park Christian. 3-0 was the score there. Then on Thursday, they hosted Underwood, and I was here for that one. That was just a great match. And Underwood took the first set. I believe it was 25-19. And then in the second and third set, Hillcrest got up by 8 in both of those sets. At one point, Underwood roared back in both of them to at least tie. But then when they got all the way back, whether it was 24-24, 23-23, Hillcrest got the 2 points needed to finish off those 2 sets. Took a 2-1 lead, and then in the fourth set, Underwood got up by about 6 or 7 points. Hillcrest came all the way back and was able to get the win. 3-1 was the win for Hillcrest. In that match, though, even though it was 3-1, both teams had 97 points each on the evening. So fun night here at the Activity Center at Hillcrest for that Hillcrest Underwood game last Thursday. Then on over the weekend on Saturday at the Pelican Rapids tournament, the Comets lost to a very good Breckenridge team. Competitive battle, 25-21 first set, 25-23 second set. Then, as we mentioned before, against Battle Lake, another competitive match. Hillcrest won that one 25-20 and 26-24. Then the Comets played the home team, Pelican Rapids, 25-18, 26-24. You can see some of the theme here with Hillcrest. They're getting tested with a lot of close sets and seem to be coming through very well, winning a lot of these close sets that they're involved in. Then their last 2 matches on Saturday in Pelican Rapids, they beat Norman County East Hewlin Hitterdall 25-14, 25-9, and then Rossay 25-13, 25-17. Debbie said the highlight for them, they had a 94% serving success rate on Saturday. And Chloe Walkup, libero, she was unbelievable serving. She was 44 for 44 on the day serving. She also had 41 digs. Some of the other performances for the Comets, Kenzie Miller had 24 kills and 8 blocks. Kenzie Miller, the 6'2 senior middle hitter. Ella Knutson, 5'10 senior outside hitter. Ella had 29 kills, 43 digs, and 7 aces in that one. Sophomore outside hitter Elsa Retzloff, 22 kills, 35 digs, and 9 aces. Setter Stella Moline was 41 of 42 serving. There's the serving success again. She had 13 digs and 68 set assists. Brooke Swedberg, the other setter, when Stella is in, Brooke will be out. When Brooke is in, Stella will be out usually, is how the rotation works. And Brooke came in. Junior setter had 37 set assists. Then 8th grader Elin Retzloff, 16 kills, 11 digs, and 7 blocks. And then it was Avea Stender, the sophomore middle hitter. She had 19 kills and 5 blocks. So again, both teams had a lot of good performances, played well, and this really should be an excellent matchup here tonight with Hillcrest and Battle Lake. Could go the distance. You never know here with this matchup tonight. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors for this broadcast. Running Stitches Embroidery, the local choice for embroidery and screen printing in Fergus Falls. Call Running Stitches Embroidery. Also Minnesota Motor Company, Minnesota Motor, located on South Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls. Well, they're getting pretty close to the prayer, national anthem, and starting lineups here that they have preceding the game. So we're going to take a break, and when we return, we'll introduce their starting lineups, brought to you by Nelson Auto Center of Fergus Falls. It's Hillcrest at home against Battle Lake in volleyball, and we'll be back with our Nelson Auto Center starting lineups in just a moment.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at nelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls is proud to support our local high school sports teams. From big business projects or even just a few flyers, they've got you covered with quality printing and personal service. Call Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
Where to eat, the ultimate culinary adventure, from signature dishes to chef recommendations.
As your food review professionals, you can find us at KBRFradio.com, the Fergus Now app, and on YouTube.
Tune in every first Friday of the month for new episodes.
Check us out, and we'll show you where to eat.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen. Transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at nelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
And welcome back to our pregame show. And just finished up the national anthem, and it's time for the starting lineups. We'll introduce our starting lineups. It's brought to you by Nelson Auto Center on Highway 210 West in Fergus Falls. And starting off for the visiting Battle Lake Battlers, 5-3 on the season. Outside middle hitter, junior number 8, Belle Borman. Middle hitter, junior number 10, Kinley Borman. Middle hitter, senior number 12, Kennedy Cameron. And setter, senior number 16, Sophie Ackerman. Libero, sophomore, number 18, Kelsey Christensen. And then I was talking to Jenny Roysum before the match. She mentioned both teams. Well, it looks like Marley Blado is going to start. Marley Blado, the senior, number 7. Both teams have a couple players that rotate a certain way that, depending on who serves first, will depend on who starts. So that's why they know 4 or 5 of them, but always don't know the whole lineup. So that'll be close enough for the Battle Lake side with head coach Jenny Roysum. And then we'll go over to the Hillcrest Comets, the home team tonight. The Comets 6-1 on the season. 5'10 senior, outside and middle hitter, number 3, Ella Knutson. 5'9 sophomore, outside hitter, sophomore, number 4, Elsa Retzloff. 5'11 sophomore, middle hitter, number 14, Avea Stender. 6'2 senior, middle hitter, number 18, Mackenzie Miller. 5'6 senior libero, number 12, Chloe Walkup. And then depending on the rotations, the setter will either be 5'6 sophomore, number 7, Stella Moline, or 5'6 junior, number 6, Brooke Swedberg. And then the other spot in the rotation would either be If it's Moline, it usually is 5'6" senior defensive specialist, number 5, Madison Miller, or 5'8", 8th grader outside hitter, number 11, Elin Retzlaff. Debbie Foss, the head coach of the Hillcrest Comets, and that is our starting lineups. Brought to you by Nelson Auto Center on Highway 210 West in Fergus Falls. So we will take one final quick break. When we return, we'll get things going here from Hillcrest. The Comets at home against the Battlers of Battle Lake. Back with the start of this match in just a moment.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, Minnesota Motor Company builds lasting relationships.
Sales are just a part of what we do here at Minnesota Motor Company. Our main focus is building relationships and creating genuine connections with customers.
We often hear from customers that they come to Minnesota Motor Company for the experience and because of the relationships that they form. That means a lot to us, and that's why we do what we do.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Okay, ready to get things going here from Hillcrest. And I was just notified that the Comets are going to start with a point because Battle Lake, they had the first serve, but will lose it right away due to a jersey being out of regulations, which is new rules. So the Comets will start with a point and serve. So it will start out 1-0 Hillcrest, and they've seemed to, in all the sports, get more particular and strict with the type of uniforms and color combinations and all sorts of things, and evidently the Battlers got dinged for having something that was out of regulation, and a point is going to go to the Comets. We'll see if that comes to fruition, as I've been given the hot tip a moment ago. The Comets in red uniform tops tonight with black shorts, white letters, black, or white numbers, black letters. The Battlers with white tops with their signature sky blue numbers and navy blue borders. And let's see, I think they're taking care of this. So yeah, they had to start with Battle Lake had the serve, and now they are awarding the point. Now the actual substitutions can take place. And there's the point on the scoreboard, 1-0 Hillcrest with the early lead due to the jersey irregulation issue for Battle Lake. So the Comets will start. It'll be Stella Moline at the service line for Hillcrest. Here we go. Should be a fun match. And Stella Moline sends it across, and Battle Lake controls it. And they set it over. That's Christensen getting over. It's blocked down, right down by Mackenzie Miller. And a nice start. And she's a force when she's up by that net. 6'2" senior Mackenzie Miller. And Miller hammers it down 2-0 Hillcrest here on our Park Region scoreboard. And Stella Moline at the service line. Stella was 41 for 42 serving in Pelican Rapids. Just did a great job. Here the Battlers trying to set things up. Getting it over is Belle Borman to the back row. And now Elsa Retzlaff just gets it over. Borman set up Sophie Ackerman, back to Borman, across, and it is just in on the back line. That was just caught it, and the Battlers with the kill and their first point of the match, and it's 2-1 Hillcrest. And now serving for Battle Lake is Kennedy Cameron, the senior, and her serve goes to the back row. Elsa Retzlaff, Stella Moline, now Mackenzie Miller tips it over, and unable to handle it coming in was Danica Byrne, and that'll be a kill for Miller, 3-1. Hillcrest with the lead, and now Elsa Retzlaff serving. Elsa likes to give it a good little running approach. Ella Knutson does that as well too. Good serve by Elsa, and it goes backwards off of Byrne and out. An ace for Retzlaff, and it'll be 4-1 now, Comets. So Elsa, she had 22 kills, 35 digs on all the matches on Saturday at Pelican Rapids. Here comes the serve. Gets it over to the back to Byrne. And they set it up with Ackerman. Here comes Borman. Across it goes, back to walk up. The Comets trying to get their attack going. Now Ella Knutson comes up, puts it down hard. Now the Battlers scrambling. Can they get it over? Great job by Battle Lake defensively to get it back. Moline setting up. Knutson puts it to the back row, tipped, and now the Battlers get it over. Good job by Battle Lake, and the Comets couldn't handle it. It kind of went to an awkward spot on the far sideline, and Chloe Walkup, maybe a little bit of indecision, couldn't get there, and it's a point for Battle Lake. Give the Battlers credit. The Comets had a couple excellent kill attempts, and Battle Lake hung in there, got the ball back, and was able to earn the point. So Sophie Ackerman now, the senior, serves it across. Elsa Retzloff, now Stella Moline setting up Miller. Here she comes, and it is blocked, but blocked down to the floor. And it's a kill for Mackenzie Miller. And it's 5-2. Hillcrest with the lead. Some substitutions here. Chloe Walkup comes out. We got Stender is in for Hillcrest. Now goes to the back row. Good serve. They do get it back across to the Hillcrest side. Retzloff to Moline, setting up Stender, and that's blocked and deflected on the Battle Lake side. Another point for the Comets. So Hillcrest off to a nice start. They got the early point on the uniform violation, but they've gotten 5 of the first 7 since, and now Battle Lake unable. Well, they do a good job by Ackerman to get it across after they struggled with the serve. Here's a setup. Knutson goes for the kill. It's deflected, goes down on the Battler side. Point for Hillcrest, and it's 7-2 Comets. And Jenny Roysum on her feet, getting some encouragement to her team. And Mackenzie Miller serving for Hillcrest. Across it goes, and it miscommunication there by Battle Lake, and Jenny Roysum is going to use a timeout here to try to get her team regrouped. 8-2 is the score on our Park Region scoreboard. Quick break, and we'll be back with more Little Lake Conference volleyball in just a moment.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles 6 times for a great deal at Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Well, a good start for the Hillcrest Comets. 8-2. They have the early lead in this first set over Battle Lake. Comets are 6-1 on the season. Battle Lake 5-3. And Mackenzie Miller, she's done a good job serving here for the Comets. She'll serve again. And across it goes. See if the Battlers regrouped after that timeout. Ackerman sets up. There's the attack, and there's the kill. Talk about a good timeout there by Jenny Roysum. They got organized, and coming in on the kill was Kinley Borman, the junior middle hitter for the Battlers. And it's 8-3. And here is Belle Borman serving for Battle Lake. Back row to walk up. Scrambling over Moline. Comes over Knutson. It's blocked at the net, and it's going to be a point for Battle Lake. As went off the net, it'll be four touches on Hillcrest. So a couple points for Battle Lake in a row after the timeout. Here's Belle Borman across. Goes deep, and miscommunication. Elsa Retzloff couldn't get to it. And another point in the ace for Borman, and it's 8-5. So 3 in a row for the Battlers. And here's Belle Borman serving once again. Across it goes to Ella Knutson. Moline. Here comes Madison Miller, and a little touch kill that goes into the middle of the floor. The Comets get the point, and it's 9-5 Hillcrest. Moline is out, and Brooke Swedberg comes in. Elin Retzloff also in as Madison Miller comes out. Swedberg and Elin Retzloff come in as Moline and Miller come out, and vice versa the other way around. That's the Comets rotation. They get it to Battle Lake side. Here comes the attack, and the kill is connected by Kinley Borman. Got a couple kills in the match here, and it's 9-6, Hillcrest by 3. And Kinley Borman will serve now. Across it goes. Elsa Retzloff digs it out. Swedberg comes to Elin Retzloff, taps it over. It's tipped by Battle Lake. And now they just have to get it to the other side. Elsa Retzloff digs it out here. They come with Ella Knutson. Her attack is, the Battlers were in the net. and that's going to be a point for Hillcrest. Knutsen's kill was deep, but I believe the Battlers were in the net on that one, so point for Hillcrest, and it's 10-6 on the Park Region scoreboard. Here comes Ella Knutsen. The running start serve and the ace and the opposite corner. It got by Marley Blado. And 11-6 now. Comets are up by 5 in this opening set. Ella Knutsen ready again. Here comes a serve, and there is another ace. Went right at Blado, deflected off her hands. And another point for Hillcrest, 12-6. Battlers do a little bit of a rotation, moving around their players a little bit. Now Knutsen serves it into the net. She tried to maybe sneak it over the net a bit and came up just a bit short, and it's a point for Battle Lake at 12-7. Now Skylar Jacobson, the junior, serving for the Battlers. Cross it goes. Stender able to get a piece of it. Comets just trying to play defense, get it over. Elin Retzloff does that. Here's Ackerman setting up. Borman on the attack, and it's set up perfectly. Excuse me, that was not Borman. That was Kennedy Cameron who finished it off on the near side. Point for Battle Lake. And it's 12-8. So the Battlers warming up here after a slow start. Jacobson with the serve. Back row to walk up. Now Swedberg. Here's Elsa Retzloff. Taps it over. Blocked at the net. Battlers control it. Across it goes. Underneath. Good dig by Ella Knutsen. Retzloff sends it over. Ackerman setting up. Cameron. It is out far side. Good defensive moments there for Hillcrest, and Battle Lake unable to execute. Comets get the point, 13-8. Danica Byrne is in for Battle Lake. Skylar Jacobson is out. Miller is in. Stender is out for Hillcrest. Chloe Walkup on the serve. She was perfect all Saturday, 44 for 44. Good little touch kill there by Ackerman. Found the vulnerable spot in the middle of the Comet defense, and it's a point for the Battlers, 13-9. And Kelsey Christensen with the serve. Swedberg setting up Miller, and she slams it. It goes off the hands of the Battlers and out. Point Hillcrest, another kill for Miller, and it's 14-9. Hillcrest by 5. So here comes that rotation. Moline and Madison Miller are in. Elin Retzloff and Swedberg come out. And Stella Moline at the service line for the Comets. And Stella, good serve, gets it across, and the Battlers tap it over, and Ackerman able to find the middle of that Comet defense there. Looked like Battle Lake was going to have a hard time getting it over, but Ackerman just got creative and made a great play. Point Battle Lake. Here's the serve from Kennedy Cameron. Moline setting up Miller. Goes over, goes off of Ackerman's hands backwards and to the floor. Point for the Comets. So Hillcrest kind of went on a run early, then Battle Lake after a timeout came back. Now the teams are kind of exchanging points back and forth here a bit. And it's Elsa Retzloff serving for the Comets. Here comes Elsa. Goes back row. Goes in the air. Battle Lake now Ackerman has to send it over to Hillcrest. Walk up. Moline setting up Miller. It's slammed. It's blocked. It goes out, and the Comets will get the point. It's a great target to have Mackenzie Miller, and a daunting task for the Battlers to block her with that size as the Comets serve. And here it comes, Kennedy Cameron across. It's deep, and Hillcrest will open up a 7-point lead. And yeah, Jenny Roysum doesn't want this to get any farther in this set, and she will use her second and final timeout of this set. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Little 8 volleyball in just a moment.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, it's a straightforward buying process, no games or gimmicks.
We get it. You can buy a vehicle anywhere. We pride ourselves on being upfront and honest with our customers. No games, no gimmicks.
We encourage customers to come in and talk with us about their needs and their budget. We'll work hard to get you the best deal.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
17-10, Hillcrest with the lead. They're on a run here. Elsa Retzloff with the serve. Back row it goes. Battlers get it to Ackerman. And here comes Borman over to the Comet side. Now Miller tips it. Retzloff digs out the block. Moline now over with Ella Knutson to the back row, and it is just out on the near sideline. Hard for us to see the exact angle, but it was close. But it goes out, and the Battlers get the point. 17-11, Comets by 6. Ackerman serving for Battle Lake. Sophie Ackerman goes back row to walk up. Here's Moline. Now it comes over to Knutson. Ella taps it over. Ackerman controls it. Jacobson. Borman blocked up and goes right down. Good block and defense by Hillcrest with the duo of Mackenzie Miller and Madison Miller, and the Comets get the point. 18-11. Now Mackenzie Miller serving. She had a nice serving run earlier in the match. And goes to the back. Ackerman. Battle Lake has to get it over. Tapped at the front by Stender. Now Moline, Retzloff. Elsa gets it over. Oh, Ackerman comes across. And underneath, dug out by Miller. Moline, battle at the net, and it's going to be a point for Battle Lake. I think the Comets were in the net on that one, and it is 18-12. Belle Borman serving for the Battlers. Good serve. Walkup handles it. Moline taps it over the other side. Battlers digging it out. They are going to be able to. Oh, no, they won't. They do get it over, but it's long off the hand of Skylar Jacobson. And it's 19-12. Substitutions on both sides. Elin Retzloff, Swedberg in. Moline and Miller are out. I didn't quite catch who was in and out quickly here for the Battlers. Looks like Belle Borman came out. Here's Swedberg on the serve for Hillcrest. Ackerman setting up far side. Point Hillcrest as the Battlers were over the line on that one. And now the Comets closing in, although the match I called at Hillcrest last Thursday against Underwood. The Comets had 8-point leads against Underwood that the Rockets came all the way back to tie before Hillcrest won. Good dig there by Retzloff, but unable to keep it in play. There's the kill for the Battlers and a point for Battle Lake, 20-13. Hillcrest with the lead, set number 1. And it's Kinley Borman, junior, serving for the Battlers. Back row to walk up. Brooke Swedberg hustles in. Now Elin Retzloff gets it over. Curls around the net. And Elin Retzloff, a little wry smile from Elin there as it curls over the net for the point. And it's 21-13. Hillcrest back up by 8. And here's Ella Knutson serving for the Comets. Ella's serve is deep on the far side of the court. And that'll get Skylar Jacobson serving for Battle Lake. 21-14, Hillcrest by 7. And Jacobson serves back row. Knutson handcuffed a bit. Comets control it. Now Elsa Retzloff swats it over. A good play by Elsa. Getting a little bit more offensive than you might on that situation, and Battle Lake couldn't handle it. And it's a point for Hillcrest. 22-14. Comets 3 points away from closing out this first set. And Chloe Walkup with the serve. Across it goes. Ackerman taps it over. Retzloff ready for it. Here is Swedberg. Now Miller across, controlled by Christensen. Now battle at the net. Battle Lake comes over. Swedberg with it for Hillcrest. Ella Knutson setting up Retzloff. Elsa puts down the kill on the near side. Good setup there by Ella. And it's now 23-14. And the Comets are up by 9. On the Park Region scoreboard. Walk up with a serve. Goes to the middle to Kinley Borman. Here they set up Blado. Back row to Ella Knutson for the Comets. Across Elsa Retzloff. And Elsa got aggressive with that one. Unable to get it over the net. And it's a point for Battle Lake. And it's 23-15. So 23-15 is the score. And I don't know. I'm not sure. There was something with the official there. I'm not sure what that was. Here's Elin Retzloff set up, and it's blocked. He goes backwards and out. Good block there by the Battlers defensively, and they get the point, and it's 23-16 on our Park Region scoreboard. And here's Kelsey Christensen. Across it goes. Elsa Retzloff handles it. Goes to Ella Knutson, and it's deep with Knutson. So Battle Lake gets another point. They're within 6, 23-17. And again, it is Kelsey Christensen serving. He goes back. Elsa Retzloff digs it out. Here comes Mackenzie Miller, tapped at the net. Comet's got to control it. Now Miller sends it over to the Battle Lake side, and trying to block it was Cameron, but didn't have the angle, went straight down for the Hillcrest point. And now the Comets are 1 point away from putting a button on this first set. Elin Retzloff, Brooke Swedberg are out. Moline is in. Madison Miller is in. And here is Stella Moline serving for the Comets. Battle Lake just able to get it back. Now Knutson to Moline for Hillcrest. Here comes Miller. She just has to send it over. Now Ackerman, far side. Here comes Borman on the attack. Blocked by the Comets on the net and slammed home. Good job by Cameron to keep the set alive. And it is a point for Battle Lake to make it 24-18. And Cameron on the serve again, and there it goes to walk up. Comets hustle in. They're scrambling to get it over. Retzloff just sends it to the Battler side. Ackerman setting up. Kinley Borman. Moline, now the Comets able to do a great job defensively to dig it out and keep the point alive. Here comes Borman across Knutson. Moline setting up Miller. She'll send it, and it's going to go deep and long. And it's a point for Battle Lake, 24-19. Comets had to endure some late runs in their match against Underwood last week. Battle Lake's got 3 in a row here, trying to pull off a comeback, but a long ways to go yet. Here's Borman on the attack, blocked at the net, deflected backwards, and that'll do it. That'll be a point for Hillcrest, and the Comets win the first set, 25-19 on our Park Region Service Beyond the Connection scoreboard. So Hillcrest up 1-0. And we'll take a break here. And when we return, we'll have set number 2 from the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Activity Center. You're listening on Real Rock Z103 to high school volleyball, and also streaming on the Fergus Now app and on the KBRF YouTube station. Back with more in 2 minutes.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, it's a straightforward buying process. No games or gimmicks.
We get it. You can buy a vehicle anywhere. We pride ourselves on being upfront and honest with our customers. No games, no gimmicks.
We encourage customers to come in and talk with us about their needs and their budget. We'll work hard to get you the best deal.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles 6 times for a great deal at Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand
And getting ready for set number 2 here from Hillcrest. The Comets took the first one over Battle Lake 25-19. And thanks to Emily Christensen taking care of some stats and willing to send some up to me here, and I'll do the best I can to decipher some of them. It's just on the Hillcrest side, so if you're, that's why we don't have Battle Lake, just able to get from Emily, who just texted me a screenshot. It was 2 kills in the first set for Elsa Retzloff, 6 for Kenzie Miller. So Kenzie, a big first set. 3 digs for Ella Knutson and 2 for Chloe Walkup in that first set. Trying to navigate my way around this and learn where everything is. But it was 4 aces for Hillcrest, 1 for Battle Lake in that first set. 1 block for the Comets. 12 kills for Hillcrest, 9 for Battle Lake as the second set has begun. And the Battlers get it back to the Comet side. Stella Moline setting up Kenzie Miller. There's another kill for Kenzie Miller. Maybe I'll just try to keep track of her as best I can. That's 7 for Kenzie Miller in the match. And 1-0 Hillcrest with the opening point of set number 2. Stella Moline across it goes back row. Ackerman trying to set up Cameron. She does a nice job bumping it over. Moline back to Miller. Across it goes. That's Christensen. Now Cameron on the kill, but it's wide and out. And a point for Hillcrest. 2-0 Comets, set number 2. They won the first set 25-19. We'll get an update on the other broadcast we have going on right now is soccer. Alexandria at Fergus Falls. We'll get an update. Brad Anderson's covering that right now as we speak. Across the way, Borman goes off the hands of Moline. Knutson gets it over to Elsa Retzloff, who sends it back to Battle Lake. Now it's going to be a battle at the net. It's swatted. It curls around, comes back off of Battle Lake and out, and it's a point Hillcrest. Comets have not trailed at all in this match in either set. They led from the get-go in set number 1. They're up 3-0 here in set number 2. Moline across it goes. Ackerman setting up. Here's Borman. That one's going to be deep, and 4 in a row for the Comets to start set number 2. Belle Borman with the attempt that went deep. And a good start for Stella Moline at the service line. And to the middle it goes on the Battle Lake side. Miscommunication. The Battlers are going to lose the point. Kind of one of those that was served in the middle of a couple players and they didn't quite communicate and unable to get it over. 5-0. Hillcrest leads. Moline again, her 6th serve to start this set. Ackerman taps it over. Dug nicely by Moline. Madison Miller, now Elsa Retzloff goes to the back row of Battle Lake. Here is Cameron across. Borman taps it to the back row. It's Knutson. Moline setting up. Madison Miller. Over it goes to Battle Lake. Ackerman across. Now the set was low and Battle Lake didn't have the angle to get to it. And Jenny Roysum is going to use another timeout. So Jenny's used both of her timeouts in the first set and using one here as the Battlers are down 6-0. So we'll take a break here. Comets off to a quick start here in the second set, leading Battle Lake 6-0. They lead the match overall 1-0. And we'll be back with more in 30 seconds.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
All right. Well, after Battle Lake had called a timeout in the first set, they rattled off, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. See if that magic can work again for the Battlers. Serve for Moline, who's now served for the 7th consecutive time to set the set. And yeah, Battle Lake is going to get the point. Got it across, caught a part of the net and came down. I think it was Kinley Borman with the kill there for the Battlers. So a point for Battle Lake. 6-1 is the score. Hillcrest leading Kennedy Cameron with a serve. Back row, Knutson. Here's Moline over to Mackenzie Miller. Across it goes. Ackerman handles it. Christensen. Now Borman, that's Bell Borman. Here's Elsa Retzlaff, blocked at the net, and Battle Lake unable to get there. And Elsa with the kill. 7-1, Comets by 6, and Retzlaff will serve. And here comes Elsa Retzlaff. The serve, back row. It's just a couple feet deep. That'll be a point for the Battlers. And it's 7-2 on our Park Region scoreboard. Into the game for Battle Lake is Zoe Hochstein, and out is Olivia Love. Now Comets don't handle that serve, and it'll be a point for Battle Lake, 7-3. Give the ace to Sophie Ackerman on that one. 7-3, Comets by 4. And Ackerman with the serve again. Goes Hillcrest side to Knutson, now Moline to Miller. To the middle, Ackerman digs it out. Hochstein over, and Borman now it's deflected backwards. Elsa Retzlaff trying to save it. The Comets aren't going to be able to do it. Elsa was all the way back against the pads on the back wall. And Elsa coming up a little slow, giving Coach Foss the thumbs up that she's fine. Battle Lake 4 out of 5 points since they called that timeout after trailing 6-0. A good timeout there by Jenny Roysum, and looks like the Comets are going to use a timeout, maybe give Elsa a quick break there. She looks fine. But 7-4, Battle Lake has won 4 out of 5 and has got to within 3. 30-second timeout. You're listening to high school volleyball on Real Rock Z103. Also streaming live on the Fergus Now app and on the KBRF YouTube station. Back after this.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls is proud to support our local high school sports teams. From big business projects or even just a few flyers, they've got you covered with quality printing and personal service. Call Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls.
Forgot it, you know. And back to action here. The Comets get it over off the serve from Battle Lake. Battle Lake on a good run here. Here's Belle Borman, and the kill on the far side for Borman. And that is a point for the Battlers. So Battle Lake right back in the thick of this set number 2 after trailing 6-0. The serve by Ackerman over, walk up to Moline across to Miller. Miller deflected by the Battlers. Cameron. Now they get it over with Kinley Borman. Elsa Retzlaff, Moline setting up Miller, and there's the perfect setup. And when they can lay it out to Mackenzie Miller on a silver platter like that, tough to stop. Great set assist there by Stella Moline, and Miller finishes, and it's 8-5 Hillcrest. That ends a run of 5 of 6 points for Battle Lake. Here's Miller with a serve, and it is in. Opting to let it go was Kelsey Christensen, but it was inside that back line. And an ace for Mackenzie Miller, 9-5 Hillcrest by 4. And here's Mackenzie Miller. Goes back to Christensen for Battle Lake. Ackerman coming across Belle Borman, blocked at the net. Now battle at the net, tip. Knutson has it. Moline going to come and set up. Stender sends it back row. Ackerman for Battle Lake. Christensen back to Kennedy Cameron. Comets, it goes off the rafters, and Hillcrest is not going to be able to recover. A little bit of a bad break. Went straight up in the air, took an awkward bounce off one of the rafters, and the desperation attempt to get it back over was unsuccessful. 9-6, Comets lead. And Belle Borman with the serve. Here comes Hillcrest. Knutson taps it over. Dug out by Ackerman. Cross it goes, and that was Cadence Call sending it to the Hillcrest side. Knutson across to Ackerman for Battle Lake. Here's Cadence Call, taps it over, tapped at the net by Stender. Here's Battle Lake, back to Call once again on that far side. Her kill attempt is wide, far side, point for Hillcrest. Comets come with their substitutions. Elin Retzlaff, Brooke Swedberg in, Stella Moline, Madison Miller come out. The soccer game, Alexandria leading Fergus Falls 1-0 at the half in that Central Lakes Conference soccer matchup. That's over on Channel 977 with Brad Anderson. Comets serve it over. Across it goes Kinley Borman. Now Elsa Retzloff for Hillcrest. Swedberg, Knutson, and Knutson goes in for the kill. And it's way long. And a point for Battle Lake. 10-7 is the score. And here is Kinley Borman, junior middle hitter, serving for Battle Lake. Goes back to Knutson. There's a setup. Stender taps it over. And a couple of quick touches by Battle Lake, and they are able to get it back to Hillcrest. Now a little indecision for the Comets. Walkup gets it to Knutson, across to Battle Lake. Here's Caden's call. Blocked at the net. Goes into the net. Battle Lake couldn't recover, and Hillcrest with the point. And the Comets are up by 4, 11-7. Substitutions here for Battle Lake. I think it was Cameron that came in, and Bell Borman came out. Here's Ackerman now for Battle Lake. Hochstein across diagonally. It is just in. Really a nice one there by Zoe Hochstein. And 11-8, and Zoe will now come out. And back in is Olivia Love, the senior. 11-8. Hillcrest by 3, and Love will serve for Battle Lake. Really a good play there on that previous one, finding that far sideline. Now Elsa Retzloff gets it over to the middle. Battle Lake, Ackerman setting up Caden's call. Deflected. Nice dig by Knutson. And it goes over. Comets struggle for the block. Retzloff digs it out over to Elin Retzloff. Tapped at the net. Elin swings it back over to the Battle Lake side. Ackerman goes deep. Touched by Knutson. Good battle here on this point. Retzloff back row. Now the Battlers control it. Setting up. Cameron taps it underneath and gets the point. She went, instead of slamming it, she tapped it and found a perfect spot. And now Battle Lake, after trailing by 6, they're within 2, 11-9 here in set number 2. Comets won the first set, 25-19. Elsa Retzloff controls the return. Now Avea Stender hustling over to get the ball over. Really didn't have any chance to avoid the net there. And that'll be a point for Battle Lake. And now it's a 1-point margin here in the second set. And Olivia Love serving for the Battlers to Elsa Retzloff. Swedberg setting up Elsa. Goes up in the air off the Battlers block. Here's Cameron now. Drops it towards the middle. Elin Retzloff with a dig. And Swedberg, good job getting it over. Now Battle Lake is going to have to just get it back to Hillcrest. Back row to Ella Knutson. Here's Brooke Swedberg setting up Stender. Gets it over, and it is, nope, Stender is too far over, looks like. And a point for Battle Lake. So we're all tied up at 11. So Battle Lake has come all the way back after that 6-0 deficit to start. And Olivia Love continuing to do a good job serving for Battle Lake. Back row to Chloe Walkup. Swedberg. Retzloff tips it over, and that's going to be 4 hits as her attempt to get it over curled off the front of the net. So Battle Lake, the first time they have led in either set, they now lead it 12-1. I'm sorry, 12-11. They lead by 1. And once again, Olivia Love on the serve. Back to Chloe Walkup. Indecision. Comets scrambling. Now Walkup is able to get it. Yep, you get it over, and electing to let it go was Love, and it landed on the line. And a point for Hillcrest. So we're all back tied again at 12 on our Park Region scoreboard. Walkup with the serve for the Comets. Ackerman setting up Cameron, and she kills it right home. That was nice timing between Ackerman and Cameron. And Battle Lake back up on top by 1 at 13-12. You can tell that those two have done that quite a few times throughout the years. And Christensen with the serve. Comes to Swedberg, Miller, and that is blocked but goes down behind the Battlers and into the middle of the floor. Kill for Miller. 13 apiece is the score in the second set. Hillcrest leading 1-0 overall. Comets come in with Moline and Madison Miller. Elin Retzloff and Swedberg are out, and Moline at the service line for Hillcrest. Goes to the back row. Ackerman setting up Cameron. Back to Ella Knutson. Here comes Moline trying to set up Madison Miller, and it's blocked but goes down off the Battlers, and the Comets regain the lead. 14-13. Stella Moline back serving again. She had a great start to this set, serving, I think, the first 7 points. Here's Brooke Borman, dug nicely by Moline, but Madison Miller tried to get to the ball, but Moline, who laid out to get it, was in her way, and the ball went to the floor, and we're tied at 14 here in this second set. Kennedy Cameron serving for Battle Lake, goes back, Retzloff taps it to Moline. Now Miller comes in, good control there, battle at the net, Miller taps it. Now Retzloff tries to attack, it goes into the net, and Battle Lake back up on top at 15-14 on our Park Region scoreboard. Cameron serving for Battle Lake, back row, Chloe Walkup. Moline over to Miller, that's set up nicely, and you can almost see it coming when it's the perfect setup, and Miller pounds it home for the kill and ties it back up at 15. 15-15, Hillcrest took the first set 25-19, and Elsa Retzloff serving for the Comets. Here comes a serve, and it is just deep. Elsa had one that was pretty close to almost the exact spot, not wildly deep, but good foot and a half past the line, and it's a point for Battle Lake, 16-15. And Sophie Ackerman serving. Ackerman goes to the back walk up, Moline. Now here comes Ella Knutson, gets it over Ackerman, controls, now goes back to the Comets, and it was set up right there for Miller. Belle Borman got away from her just a touch and enough to get it right where Miller could slam it back home, and we're tied at 16. Chloe Walkup comes out. Mackenzie Miller on the service line. Good serve, and Battle Lake does well to keep it alive. Christensen gets it back to the Comet side. Here's Moline over to Madison Miller, and she finds a sweet spot, a little finesse on that one. And Hillcrest regains the lead at 17-16. Comets got the first 6 of the set. Battlers called a timeout and battled all the way back, and they've been exchanging leads here ever since it was tied at 12. Now the good serve by Miller. Battle Lake scrambling. Are they going to get it over? They do. And here is Moline. Taps it to the Battler side. Cameron in the back row. Now Ackerman sends it way back. Retzloff now over to Moline. Comets in a little bit scramble mode. Gets it back. Now Ackerman. Here comes Kinley Borman, and she puts it home. Man, that was a powerful one. Set up nicely by Ackerman. Man, that was an impressive finish there by Borman, and tied it back up again at 17. Miller is out, Stender is in, and the serve for Battle Lake. It comes to Moline, over to Stender. Back row it goes. Ackerman setting up Caden's call. Her attack is well long, and a point for Hillcrest. Comets back up on top, 18-17. Both teams making some substitutions. And Brooke Swedberg in to serve for Hillcrest. So here's Brooke Swedberg at the line. Back row to Cameron. Ackerman over to Hochstein. Tapped at the net by the Comets. Battle Lake retreats. Here comes Caden's call. Sends it over to Brooke Swedberg. Chloe Walkup. Now Elin Retzloff put in a tough spot and unable to get it back to where it needed to be, as the second touch is headed over towards the official up on the platform, and that's a Battle Lake point, tied at 18. And Kinley Borman serving for Battle Lake. It goes deep, and Ella Knutson, that was a tough one. I don't know if that would have been in or out, but at the last moment, Ella decided to go for it and wasn't in a great position to control it. And the Battlers back up by 1, 19-18. Serve goes to Knutson. Another very good serve there by Borman. They get it over to Battle Lake. Here's Caden's call. Blocked at the net. Dug out by Knutson. Elsa Retzloff sets it over to Battle Lake. Here's Ackerman. Cameron over the other side. Elin Retzloff with the dig. Stender with the attack. It's just long, about a foot long on the backside. And Battle Lake is up by 2. I believe this is the first time they've led by more than 1. It's 20-18. And here's Kinley Borman. Serve is long, and a point for the Comets. 20-19. Now the Comets have had a lot of success in this young season with these close sets. And we'll see how this one unfolds with Battle Lake having the momentum now. Good serve by Ella Knutson. Battlers get it over. Goes back to Ella Knutson. Swedberg setting up Elin Retzlaff. Elin taps it over, and Battle Lake couldn't recover. Nice touch there by Elin. And we're all tied up at 20. Here in the second set. Hillcrest won the first set, 25-19. And Ella Knutson serving for the Comets. Here comes Ella, gets a good serve, dug out by the Battlers, and still trying to recover. They couldn't. Give Ella Knutson the credit there. That one just got over the net on a good line drive and velocity. And Battle Lake couldn't quite get it over after a few touches. Hillcrest back up 21-20, 3 in a row for Hillcrest. Another good serve by Knutson. Ackerman out to Cameron, just gets it back over, walk up. Swedberg for Hillcrest setting up Elsa Retzlaff. Sir at the net, and it is a kill for Elsa Retzlaff. It was blocked but went down to the floor. 4 in a row for Hillcrest. And timeout is called by Battle Lake. So we'll take a break here. It's been Battle Lake's been really tough coming out of the timeouts, and it's a moment where it's crunch time, and a big one, especially for the Battlers. So we'll see what happens when we return. We'll be back with more high school volleyball in 15 seconds.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families, keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
That was a timeout here brought to you by Lake Region Healthcare. And the Lake Region Healthcare timeouts have been effective for Battle Lake. We mentioned they faced a deficit in the first set, and Jenny Royston called the timeout and came right back, got 3 or 4 in a row, and then trailed 6-0 at the beginning of the second set, called timeout, and really went on a run to get right back in it, and eventually took the lead. But the Comets have gotten the last 4 points to lead 22-20 here in the second set. Hillcrest won the first set, and here's Ella Knutson serving, really serving well in this stretch. Battle Lake gets it over to Cameron. Elsa Retzlaff for Hillcrest. Brooke Swedberg. Here comes Elin Retzlaff. Elin touches it over. Diving to get it is Christensen. And Battle Lake couldn't get it. 5 in a row for Hillcrest, and they're up 23-20 here in set number 2. Ella Knutson, great job serving. And there's another one, an ace for Knutson. And Ella is just on fire with the serve. And 6 in a row for Hillcrest, and now they are 1 point away from putting this set away. And we mentioned how the Comets have been so good in these close sets throughout the early part of the season. And another ace for Ella Knutson. And Hillcrest, after getting down 20-18, 7 in a row behind the outstanding serving from Ella Knutson. And they lead 2-0 overall. Won the first set 25-19, won the second set 25-20. So we'll take a set break here, and we'll come back with more high school basketball. This is Little Lake Conference Volleyball on Real Rock Z103, streaming live on the Fergus Now app and the KBRF YouTube station.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, it's a straightforward buying process. No games or gimmicks.
We get it. You can buy a vehicle anywhere. We pride ourselves on being upfront and honest with our customers. No games, no gimmicks.
We encourage customers to come in and talk with us about their needs and their budget. We'll work hard to get you the best deal.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families, keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles 6 times for a great deal at Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
And we are back here at Hillcrest. Good competitive second set. Had the Comets go up 6-0, and Battle Lake came back and eventually took the lead. But then the Comets, behind the serving of Ella Knudsen, got the last 7 points of the set to win it, 25-20. And Emily Christensen sent some Comet stats anyway up to me via screenshot. Well, there are 13 kills for Hillcrest in the second, 8 for Battle Lake, 3 aces for the Comets. They must have been from Ella there at the end. 2 for Battle Lake. And individually, overall, there were, kills in the second set. 5 kills for Kenzie Miller, 3 for Elsa Retzloff, and 2 for Madison Miller, and 2 for Elin Retzloff. 8 set assists for Stella Moline, 4 for Brooke Swedberg. As we're starting the third, Comets leading 2-0 overall. Hillcrest gets it back over. Now Battle Lake, good job by Ackerman just to get it back and save the point. Elsa Retzloff on the attack. There's a good block up front by Cameron that ricochets back to the floor, and it's a point for Battle Lake. First time the Battlers have gotten the first point of a set, and it is Kelsey Christensen, sophomore libero, serving for the Battlers. The net curls across the net, but the Comets, great job of keeping that point alive. Excellent job. There's Cameron coming across. There's the block by Miller, and onto the Battle Lake side floor, and it's a point. Wow, excellent point there for Hillcrest defensively, somehow keeping it alive as the serve curled over the net, got under it, got it to the other side. The defense is outstanding. We're tied at 1 here. Moline and Miller in. And Moline serves. Ackerman setting up. Bell Borman across the way. Comets. Yet the ball deflected, heads towards the student section and out. And Battle Lake back up 2-1 on our Park Region scoreboard. And here's Cameron. Kennedy Cameron serving. Now Hillcrest scrambling again. Elsa Retzloff heading toward the student section. Ella Knudsen does get it back nicely. Here comes Ackerman. Now Kinley Borman deflected, but it's blocked, but goes towards the scorer's table and out. Point for Battle Lake, 3-1. Battlers with the lead. Well, Running Stitches, the local choice for embroidery and screen printing in Fergus Falls. That's Running Stitches Embroidery. Cameron with the serve. Here is Moline. Now Miller. Blocked at the net. Here is Ackerman. Across it goes Borman. Tipped around, but Battle Lake didn't quite have the timing on that one. And Hillcrest will get the point. 3-2. Battle Lake a 1-point lead. Hillcrest is on Thursday, goes on the road to Hancock. Battle Lake will be at home on Thursday hosting Rothsay. That Little Lake Conference matchup. There's Battle Lake on the attack. And Bell Borman's attack is low and into the net, and we're all tied up at 3. Now serving for Hillcrest is Elsa Retzloff. And here comes Elsa. Back row. Now it's going to go back to Hillcrest. Comets will have an opportunity. Well, they didn't quite take advantage of it. They get it all back over. Here is Battle Lake. And now Borman. Across to Hillcrest. Retzloff, Moline. Here's Madison Miller. Controlled in the back by Kennedy Cameron. Good job there. Ackerman with great placement. Got it over the head of Elsa Retzloff, and Elsa couldn't get to it in time to control it. And Battle Lake back up on top, 4-3. And here is Ackerman serving for the Battlers. Back row, walk up, Moline. Here comes Miller. That's set up, and there again, you can just see it coming. Perfect setup, and Miller was able to wind up and put that one down, and we're all tied up at 4. 4-4 is the score, and Mackenzie Miller serving for the Comets. This is the third set. Hillcrest won the first 25-19, and then they took the second 25-20. Battle Lake gets it over, and it's just long. The attempt from Skylar Jacobson goes right behind the back line, and the Comets have their first lead of the third set, 5-4. And here's Mackenzie Miller. Mackenzie is a good night serving. Ballers Ackerman. Bell Borman across. Madison Miller for Hillcrest. Moline. Now Ella Knutson. Taps it diagonally across. Christensen for Battle Lake. Here's Bell Borman. Good attack. Goes off of Miller's hand and backing out. Nice kill there by Bell Borman. Tied at 5. Christensen is out for Battle Lake. Marley Blado is in. And Bell Borman serving for the Battlers. To the back it goes. Elsa Retzloff handcuffed on that one. Couldn't control it. And it is a point for the Battlers, who regain the lead 6-5 on our Park Region scoreboard. And here is Borman on the serve. Comets on the attack. Here's Stender. Good attack by Stender. Deflected a bit, but some good power there. Goes down on the Battle Lake side. Point Hillcrest all tied up at 6. Comets with their rotations. Elin Retzloff and Brooke Swedberg in. Moline and Madison Miller come out. And Swedberg, when she comes in, she's always serving, as when Moline is in, she's always serving. Here's a serve by Swedberg to the middle. Good serve. And Battle Lake sends it back to the Comet side. Swedberg setting up Stender. Taps it over. Good block there by Battle Lake. Comets. Elsa Retzloff to Elin Retzloff. Now Skylar Jacobson for Battle Lake. Over it goes. Deflected, up in the air. Elin Retzloff on the Hillcrest side. Swedberg, Stender, taps it over, deflected, and comes back down, and Hillcrest with the point. Good volley back and forth there by both teams. Comets end up picking up the point and regaining the lead 7-6. And here's Swedberg serving for the Comets. Swedberg, good serve, back row. Cameron comes up with it. Here comes Kinley Borman, and there's the kill. Kinley's kind of the other one. She maybe doesn't have the height of Mackenzie Miller, but she kind of gets a running start, and when that timing is there, fun to watch, and she gets that kill, tied up at 7. The third set, Hillcrest up 2-0 overall. On the serve, Swedberg sends it back to the back row. Now Ackerman scrambles, gets it to Cameron, blocked at the net, but it comes down on the Hillcrest side. Battle Lake with the point. Good job by Battle Lake of being creative there on a point that didn't look that it was going their way at the beginning. Good serve there by Borman. Here come now Comets lose their timing and maybe a little bit of miscommunication. And Ella Knutson's touch goes into the net, 9-7. Battle Lake up by 2 on the Park Region scoreboard. Here's Kinley Borman. Good serve, goes up in the air, ricochets off the rafters. Comets able to control it. Now Stender tries to attack, but it goes into the net. Couldn't quite curl it over. And this is the biggest lead that Battle Lake has had in any set on the evening. They're up by 3, 10-7. And here's Kinley Borman. She's a good server. Another tough serve. Swedberg has to hustle into the student section to get it. Ella Knutson scrambles over. Here come the Battlers. Skylar Jacobson, and looks like Hillcrest is, point for Battle Lake. Is it a net violation? Well, Battle Lake's up by 4, 11-7. Kinley Borman doing a great job serving for the Battlers. Again, a tough serve that the Comets can only just get across to the other side. Ackerman setting up Cameron, blocked at the net and blocked back down. Good job of Aya Stender right there to send it back. And that stops at Battle Lake. I think that was 4 in a row for the Battlers. 11-8, Battle Lake up, and Ella Knutson now serving for the Comets. Ella had a great serving finish in the last set. That one is just in on the back row. Ooh, that was as close as it can be. everyone was kind of, I mean, from our point of view, that was a tough one. That was either right fractionally on the line, but it was called in, and it's an ace for Knutson. There's another serve and another ace for Knutson, and she picks up with her momentum that she had at the end of the second set when she led the charge, where the Comets had the last 7 points of the second set. And now a couple aces in a row for Ella. 3 in a row for Hillcrest, and they're within 1 to Battle Lake at 11-10. Another serve for Knutson. Sends it to the back to Christensen. Ackerman gets it over to Cameron. Now back row to Knutson. Swedberg, Stender, blocked at the net. Stender gets it across and finds a soft spot near the far sideline. And in play, 11-11, tied up. 4 in a row for Hillcrest. That was after the Battlers got 5 in a row. 4 or 5 in a row. And now Ella Knutson continuing the excellent serving. Another good serve, but the Battlers do handle it, but they're not going to be able to attack off of it. Here's Swedberg for Hillcrest, setting up Elin Retzloff. Elin with the kill. There's the 8th grader, Elin Retzloff, with a nice finish, and Jenny Roysum is going to use a timeout. So the Comets 5 in a row. They are up 12-11 now as they're trying to put this one away here in this third set. Battle Lake trying to keep this one alive. We'll take a break and back with more high school volleyball in 30 seconds.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families, keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
All right, well, this set has been kind of a game of runs here. Battle Lake went on a run a moment ago. I think they got 5 in a row to go up 11-7. Now the Comets answered right back with 5 in a row, and Ella Knutson is having a night at the service line. Her serves have been tough to handle, and she is now served. This will be her 5th consecutive serve. Comets have the lead 12-11 in the third set. Another good serve. Ricochets off of Jacobson. And out 13-11. She's in the zone here serving. 13-11. Hillcrest up 2-0 overall. Won the first 25-19 and the second 25-20. Here's Knutson. Another serve. That one is just deep. It went about half a foot deep in the far corner. And Battle Lake will get it back. I think Hillcrest is happy to not have Kinley Borman serve, who's been outstanding, and Battle Lake happy not to deal with Ella Knutson serving for a while either. But it's Olivia Love now for Battle Lake. Back row to walk up. Swedberg, Elsa Retzloff. Elsa finds a sweet spot. Battle Lake tried to dig it out but couldn't get there in time to control it. Point for Hillcrest. Give Retzloff the kill. Mackenzie Miller is in. Avea Stender is out for the Comets. Chloe walk up with the serve for Hillcrest. Ackerman in a tough spot. What a beautiful play by Ackerman. She was in a tough spot right up against the net and just tipped it backwards over her right shoulder where no Hillcrest player was. Kind of a equivalent of a no-look pass, but maybe a little more of basketball, but a little more impressive actually. 14-13, Comets by 1. Elsa Retzloff on the attack. Battle Lake trying to control. It goes back to the net. Now Elsa Retzloff controls it on the Hillcrest side. Here's Elin Retzloff. Is it in? It is in. The kill on the near side in front of the Battle Lake bench. And Elin's had a couple nice finishes. And it's a 2-point Hillcrest lead. And now Elin will come out with a rotation. Swedberg comes out. Moline and Miller are in. And here's Stella Moline serving for the Comets. Back row goes. Another good serve. Christensen now just gets it back to the Comet side. Knutson, Moline taps it over right up against the net. Ackerman setting up Cameron. Lobs it across. Now Knutson goes right back to the Battle Lake side. Ackerman. Here comes Bell Borman. Good play by Knutson to control it for the Comets. Now Elsa Retzloff on the kill. Battle Lake on the block goes straight to the floor. And here's Stella Moline. There's a serve for Stella. Back row to Christensen. Ackerman. Now Cameron just has to get it over, but she finds the spot on the far side. Now she got creative there. She was in a little bit of trouble. Coming really close to the net, having a tough angle, and went to the far side and got it in for the point. Great play by Cameron. 16-14. Here's walk up. Now Moline. Madison Miller gets it back to Battle Lake. Ackerman setting up. Here's Belle Borman. Blocked at the net. Battle Lake digs it out nicely. Across it goes. Kinley Borman. Across, walk up. Now goes, curls over to the Battle Lake side. Good job by Ackerman to control it. Belle Borman. And she, gets the kill. It went off the hands of Miller. Point for Battle Lake. 16-15. This one's going down to the wire. See if Battle Lake can stay alive or if the Comets can finish it off. Served by Cameron. Goes to Knutson. Now Elsa Retzlaff gets it to the back row to Cameron. Over to Ackerman. And the running attack by Kinley Borman. And the kill off the hands of the Comets. And now we're all tied up again at 16 apiece on our Park Region scoreboard. Kennedy Cameron with the serve. Goes back to walk up. Comets get it over. Blocked at the net, and Battle Lake couldn't get it. Ella got a little aggressive, and Kinley Borman went up to block it. Kind of came off her hands at an awkward angle and down to the floor. 17-16. Hillcrest back up by 1. Here's Elsa Retzlaff serving. And the serve for Elsa to Christensen. Ackerman setting up Kinley Borman. Block and goes down. Point for Battle Lake. All tied up at 17. One of our sponsors is Minnesota Motor Company. And they're located on South Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls. And thanks to all of our sponsors for the live stream and the radio broadcast tonight. 17 apiece, third set. Here's Mackenzie Miller getting set up. She slams it home off the hands of Kinley Borman into the net. And it's a point Hillcrest. Stender in. Libero Chloe Walkup comes out. And here is Mackenzie Miller serving for the Comets. Goes to the back to Cameron. Here's Ackerman trying to set up Kinley Borman. Taps it over. Knutson comes up with it for Hillcrest. Moline. Stender. Stender taps it over. And Borman comes up with it for Battle Lake. Now Skylar Jacobson has to get it across. There's Moline. Stender. Madison Miller. Over to the Battle Lake side. Goes backwards. Ackerman. Cameron. Back row Elsa Retzlaff. Here's Moline. Setting up Knutson on the kill. And Ella puts it down. And it skimmed off the net directly at Cameron, who really didn't have much of an angle to handle that. And now the Comets are up by 2. It's 19-17, and here's Mackenzie Miller, who's had some success serving. Gets it across to Christensen. Ackerman over to Belle Borman. Across to Madison Miller. Moline. Now Knutson, and a little left-hand tip gets in the middle of the floor. And Hillcrest now has their biggest lead of this third set of 20-17 as they're trying to close this match out. They lead 2-0 overall. And here's Miller. There's the serve back to Christensen. Cameron. It touches the rafters. Tough one. Ackerman gets it back to Hillcrest. Moline setting up Stender, and Stender didn't quite time her jump well. And her attack goes into the net. Point for Battle Lake at 20-18 on our Park Region scoreboard. And here's Belle Borman. Serves back to Knutson. Now Moline, and it's tapped right down. Comets didn't control that serve, and it was set up perfectly for Kinley Borman to put it back down on the Comets side. Battle Lake now within 1, 20-19. Comets up 2-0 in this match. They can close it out, and now there's a service error for Belle Borman. It goes into the net. And it's 21-19. Comets make substitutions. Swedberg and Elin Retzlaff are in. Moline and Madison Miller are out. 29-19. Comets by 2. The third set. Swedberg with the serve. Goes back. Here's Ackerman setting up Kinley Borman. Curls off the net. It stays on the Battle Lake side. 4 touches. And the Comets are up by 3. And the Comets are 3 points away from winning this match and improving to 7-1. In this young season. Here's Brooke Swedberg serving for Hillcrest. Goes back. Christensen elects to play it. And here is the kill attempt. It's long, and it's a point for Hillcrest. The attempt by Marley Blado is long, and it's now 23-19. Hillcrest by 4. Now Brooke Swedberg with the serve. Back row Cameron. And set up for Knutson. Back to the Battle Lake side. Ackerman. Borman tapped at the net. Stender sends it straight back down, and Hillcrest is now 1 point away from the victory. They lead 2-0 overall. They're up 24-19. And here is Brooke Swedberg serving for the match for Hillcrest. Across it goes from Swedberg. There's the ace to finish it off. 25-19 is the final in the third set. The Comets win this one 3-0, 25-19, 25-20, and 25-19. Hillcrest improves to 7-1 on the season. The Battlers fall to 5-4. So we're going to have our post-game show here, and we will take a break, and we'll come back and recap everything. We'll get some stats. We're going to get some stats. I know Emily Christensen will have some stats. We'll see if we can track any down from Battle Lake, and then we'll also name our Quality Toyota Player of the Game, sponsored by Quality Toyota and Lake Country Graphics. Back with more in our post-game show after this.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
Where to eat, the ultimate culinary adventure, from signature dishes to chef recommendations.
As your food review professionals, you can find us at KBRFradio.com, the Fergus Now app, and on YouTube.
Tune in every first Friday of the month for new episodes.
Check us out, and we'll show you
where to eat.
Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls is proud to support our local high school sports teams. From big business projects or even just a few flyers, they've got you covered with quality printing and personal service. Call Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, Minnesota Motor Company builds lasting relationships.
Sales are just a part of what we do here at Minnesota Motor Company. Our main focus is building relationships and creating genuine connections with customers.
We often hear from customers that they come to Minnesota Motor Company for the experience and because of the relationships that they form. That means a lot to us, and that's why we do what we do.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
And we're back here at Hillcrest, post-game show, as Hillcrest wins this volleyball, Little 8 volleyball matchup tonight, 3-0, the final score. And it was the Comets who took the first set 25-19. They took the second one 25-20, and the third 25-19. And Hillcrest got off to a very good start in that first set and kind of controlled it, held Battle Lake at bay most of that first set. Then the second set got interesting. Looked like the Comets were off to the races again. They scored the first 6 points of the second set. Jenny Roysum really used some timeouts well. Her team's played really well coming out of timeouts in this one tonight. And Battle Lake quickly got right back in the match. And I believe they tied it up at 12, and then it really went back and forth, point for point. Then the Battlers got up 20-18 and had their first 2-point lead. But then the Comets, behind the serving of Ella Knutson, finished that set off very, very well, the last 7 points of the set. And Hillcrest won the second, 25-20. And then in the third, this one was pretty much back and forth most of the way. The Battlers got off to a small early lead, but really back and forth once again. Tied, some lead changes, a lot of ties throughout. And then again, it was Hillcrest coming through at the end, and that's been a theme of the Comets so far this year. They have been outstanding in sets that have been close. We saw them win 3 2-point sets in their 3-1 win over Underwood last Thursday. Then over the weekend in Pelican Rapids, in their matches with Battle Lake, winning 26-24, 25-20, won a 26-24 over Pelican Rapids. They've really done well, and they really played well in the clutch. They seem to excel when the points get bigger, and they did that tonight, finishing off when it was really close in that 19-19, 20-20, 20-18 range. Hillcrest went on a run to finish off the second and third set. So the Comets improved to 7-1 on the season, and Battle Lake falls to 5-4. Post-game show will continue here. We'll take another break, and we'll go through some of the stats when we return. You're listening to the post-game show of Hillcrest and Battle Lake Little Lake Volleyball on Real Rock Z103, streaming on the Fergus Now app and on the KBRF YouTube station.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, it's a straightforward buying process. No games or gimmicks.
We get it. You can buy a vehicle anywhere. We pride ourselves on being upfront and honest with our customers. No games, no gimmicks.
We encourage customers to come in and talk with us about their needs and their budget. We'll work hard to get you the best deal.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles 6 times for a great deal at Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Every team has a home field advantage. Make yours the internet from Park Region. With speeds that keep up with the pace of the game and the reliability to never miss a play, you'll always be connected. Get the internet that's always in your corner. Park Region, your home team's internet advantage.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
And we are back here at our post-game show, Hillcrest and Battle Lake. The Comets win this one 3-0 and improved to 7-1. Battle Lake now 5-4 on the year. And thanks to Emily Christensen, brought up some stats. We have some team stats. We only have individual stats right now from the Hillcrest side. Some of the team stats we got overall for total points throughout the night. Hillcrest 75, Battle Lake 58. All three sets were pretty competitive. Ended up in that 5 to 6 point range. The second and third were especially competitive, and the Comets just went on a big run at the end to come up with those wins. But 75 to 58, Comets with the edge overall with points. Kills on the night, 37 for Hillcrest and 29 for Battle Lake, and on the aces, 11 for Hillcrest and 4 for Battle Lake. Looking here quickly at some of the notable numbers. Great night for Kenzie Miller. She was a force offensively with 13 kills. To lead all players, Kenzie had 2 aces in this one. And it was Ella Knutson. Ella What a great night she had as well, defensively as well. 18 digs for Ella, 7 aces. Mentioned how much of a key she was down the stretch with those aces to close out a few of the sets. And not just the aces, but the effective serves that put Battle Lake out of position. Also, Elsa Retzloff, 7 kills, 11 digs in this one. Elin Retzloff had 5 kills. Vea Stender with 4 kills and 3 blocks. And then Stella Moline had 22 set assists and 5 digs. Brooke Swedberg had 12 set assists and 4 digs. And we don't have any individual stats on Battle Lake right now. Not sure if we'll be able to track them down or not, but those are the numbers we got in front of us anyway at the moment. Well, another break here as our post-game show continues. Hillcrest over Battle Lake 3-0. The final 25-19, 25-20. 25-19. Back with more on the post-game show after this.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, Minnesota Motor Company builds lasting relationships.
Sales are just a part of what we do here at Minnesota Motor Company. Our main focus is building relationships and creating genuine connections with customers.
We often hear from customers that they come to Minnesota Motor Company for the experience and because of the relationships that they form. That means a lot to us, and that's why we do what we do.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls is proud to support our local high school sports teams. From big business projects or even just a few flyers, they've got you covered with quality printing and personal service. Call Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls.
What's your number?
I drove 113 miles.
And I drove 124 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Back here on our post-game show, Hillcrest over Battle Lake tonight, 3-0. Good competitive match here. Comets were just too much for the Battlers, especially in the last stretch of the second and third set here tonight. But just taking a look at what these teams have coming up, Hillcrest, they'll hit the road on Thursday. They'll go to Hancock and face the Owls. And Battle Lake, one more match this week. They will be at home against the Rothsay Tigers in that Little 8 conference matchup. JV match tonight, Battle Lake defeats Hillcrest 2-0. And then over on Channel 977, we had high school soccer, Central Lakes Conference soccer. And Alexandria was at Fergus Falls. It was the Cardinals beat the Otters 2-0 was the final in that one. Well, thanks to our sponsors tonight, too, as well. Minnesota Motor Company, and they are located on South Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls, and also Running Stitches Embroidery, the local choice for embroidery and screen printing in Fergus Falls, called Running Stitches Embroidery. We'll take one final timeout. When we come back, we'll name our Quality Player of the Game, sponsored by Quality Toyota and Lake Country Graphics. Comets beat the Battlers tonight 3-0 in Little Lake Conference Volleyball. We'll take a break and our final break, and back with our Quality Player in a moment.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Need top quality lumber and exceptional service? Look no further than Everett's Lumber, proudly serving the Lakes area since 1882. Get your fall projects rolling with Everett's Lumber in Battle Lake. You'll find them online at everettslumber.com.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance? Trust Alicia Helgeson at FM Bank in Fergus Falls. With expert guidance and local know-how, she makes the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Call Alicia or apply online at mybankfm.com today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said, Minnesota Motor Company builds lasting relationships.
Sales are just a part of what we do here at Minnesota Motor Company. Our main focus is building relationships and creating genuine connections with customers.
We often hear from customers that they come to Minnesota Motor Company for the experience and because of the relationships that they form. That means a lot to us, and that's why we do what we do.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls is proud to support our local high school sports teams. From big business projects or even just a few flyers, they've got you covered with quality printing and personal service. Call Midwest Printing in Fergus Falls.
What's your number?
I drove 113 miles.
And I drove 124 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
And back here at our post-game show, Hillcrest over Battle Lake in volleyball tonight, 3-0, the final. And it's time to name our quality player of the game, sponsored by Quality Toyota and Lake Country Graphics for screen printing and embroidery on custom apparel. With the best in personal service around, contact Lake Country Graphics at 1223 North Union Avenue in Fergus Falls. Call 998-4027. That's 998-4027. We're gonna split up the quality player of the game a little bit. First, head tip to Battle Lake, some good performances. Sophie Ackerman is an impressive player. We don't have the stats from the Battlers, but she just is, she's kind of the glue that keeps everything together. Has such great instincts out there, setting up her teammates, knowing where to put the ball. I thought Kinley Borman was impressive. She really had some impressive kills tonight and some serves that the Comets really struggled to handle in this one. But on the Hillcrest side, we're going to split it up tonight. We're going to go on offensive side and a defensive side. Offensive side, we'll give it to Mackenzie Miller, 6'2" senior middle hitter. And we talked many times how when it's set up perfectly for her and she's ready to step up and wind up and put it down, there's not much of a chance for anyone to get it. And she was very effective tonight. A lot of big kills and key moments. 13 kills on the evening to lead Hillcrest. She also had a nice serving night as well, I thought, too. Had a couple stretches where she was serving for a few points. Had a couple aces as well. And then on the defensive side, Ella Knutson was great. Ella, 5'10" senior outside and middle hitter, and her serving especially was tremendous. Some of her numbers, she had 7 aces and 18 digs, so defensively digging the ball, keeping it alive for her team. And I mentioned when Battle Lake took that 20-18 lead in set number 2, well, the Comets got the last 7, and it was Ella Knutson serving that really kept Battle Lake off balance. Even if it wasn't an ace, they were off balance, unable to get their attack in order in that point. And she also finished off the match as well, and it was a great performance by Ella. We're going to share the players of the game. Kenzie Miller, Ella Knutson, there are quality players of the game, sponsored by Quality Toyota and Lake Country Graphics. So as we mentioned before, Comets on the road at Hancock on Thursday, Battle Lake at home on Thursday against Rosse, and then our coverage, streaming coverage and radio coverage Thursday will be the Fergus Falls Otters at home in volleyball against Detroit Lakes in that CLC matchup. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock start on Channel 977. And then in Little 8 conference volleyball, Underwood is at Ashby. That'll be right here on Real Rock Z103. 7 o'clock pregame, 7:15 start. Both of those matches will also be, along with being on the radio, on the Fergus, streaming live on the Fergus Now app and on the KBRF YouTube station. So that will do it for us here tonight. Hillcrest wins it. The final score, 3-0, Hillcrest over Battle Lake. Comets win the first set, 25-19. They win the second, 25-20, and finish it off with the third, at 25-19. For Derek Sidian, great job. Thanks for all your help on the engineering on the live stream. And this is Jason Retzloff signing off from the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Activity Center in Fergus Falls. We thank you for listening and watching Little 8 Volleyball on Real Rock Z103.
Thank you for joining us for a special KBRF Sports Video streaming presentation. Tonight's game is proudly brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, your Minnesota Motor Company halftime show. Lake Region Healthcare and your Lake Region Healthcare timeouts. Park Region and your Park Region scoreboard. Nelson Auto Center and your Nelson starting lineups. Quality Toyota and your Quality Toyota player of the game. Midwest Printing. Running Stitches Embroidery. Everett's Lumber Company. And by FM Bank. Thank you for joining us for a KBRF Radio Sports video presentation. You can find this game and others at kbrfradio.com. Then click Sports Streaming, KBRF Radio's YouTube page, or on the Fergus